Devi,
Dandavad Pranam.
Devi,
Dandavad Pranam, Maharaja.
and so sorry about your husband loss. Hope you're okay.
Yes, Maharaj, by your grace.
It's so nice to see you again. You'll be in London for a while yet?
I came last Sunday, Maharaj.
You'll be here for a while?
Yes, Maharaj. Just I came last week.
You'll stay in London?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes. Okay.
How are you, Maharaj?
I'm okay, Devi.
I miss you, Maharaj.
Yes, also here. We're inquiring about you all the time. You're feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm trying to, Maharaj.
Yes. Difficult. Make adjustment, huh?
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Hare everybody. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Oh, Uma Devi.
Dandavad Pranam. Dandavad Pranam, Didi.
You are welcome.
We have our Uma Devi back again.
We are missing you, Didi.
Yes, Prabhuji, I am also missing you.
Thank you. How are you, Maharaj?
Oh, I'm okay.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai.
Good chat, Prabhu. How are you?
Muy bueno, Prabhu.
Ah, Jai Gurudev.
Jai.
Muy feliz.
Very happy.
Nosotros también.
We are also. Nosotros también.
Nosotros también. Yeah.
How is Priyatama Didi doing?
Míralo, míralo, te está mirando.
Priyatama, ¿dónde están?
Okay.
Priyatama Lee, other planet.
Okay.
De la Maharaja.
Jai.
The soul is beyond the mind. Huh? There's a soul beyond the mind. Mind is only a little covering, but the soul is very big. Huh? If we we cannot see the soul from the mind. Mind is just a small portion, like a cloud over the soul. When you look at the sun, you can put the cloud in front of the sun. From our vision, the sun looks like it's covered by the cloud. It looks like the cloud is covering the sun. Cloud is a very small thing. Sun is very big. Huh? Cloud cannot cover the sun. Mind is like that cloud. And beyond the cloud, there's the soul. And the soul is much bigger and brighter than the cloud. Dhanyavad, Linda Devi, Linda Didi, Bhakti
Diddy Davy. Dandavat Maharaj.
and now we have Uma Devi.
Madhava.
Huh? We're complete.
Uma is also staying in London, like you, Linda.
I'm not in London. I'm in Kent, further down
Oh,
in
you're
Kent. I'm
you're-
not in London. No.
Oh.
No, I think she lives quite a way away. Yeah. Well, in terms of England, she lives a long way away. In terms of America, probably near. I've got a question, Maharaj, please.
Yes.
Right, my question is, we're in the age of Kali Yoga, which is about 420,000 years,
Yeah.
and we're 5,000 years in,
Yeah.
okay, and it was about 5,000 years, wasn't it, that Krishna came down? But
Yes.
some texts say that Krishna comes down when all forms of religion are sort of gone, when we're in a terrible state. The age of Kali Yuga is the age of like suffering and everything. So why did he come down before Kali Yuga and not in it? Because it wouldn't have been in the age before. Wasn't there so much suffering?
He came about 5,000 years ago. His
Yeah.
Swayam Bhagavan appeared about 5,000 years ago.
Yeah, and that's when,
At the beginning of Kali Yuga.
yeah, at the beginning of Kali Yuga.
you was here.
So if he came then,
before.
why is it so terrible? Why didn't I thought he was to come.
That's why he
He
came.
came down. Yeah,
That's why
to
he
make
came,
it more terrible.
Because it was so terrible. He had to come and tell us, look, you've got to get out of this situation. Here's how to do it.
Oh, okay.
See?
Right. Okay.
Otherwise, when everybody was having fun, when everybody was okay, if he came down at that time, they say, so what's the problem?
So he came down at the very beginning. To
He
tell
came
us that
down
this
only
is-
when there was some trouble, yes. You die, Hidharmasya. Dhanar Bharata, he says. I come when the principles of religion have been disturbed. To
So
establish.
it sort of says that at the very beginning it was
Like-
milder, and as Kali Yuga progresses, it gets worse.
It's
So
getting
why would he
worse.
not come? Why would
He
not
came at the
come?
beginning. He came
Yeah, at the
when it was
beginning.
when it was getting bad. Now it's only going to get worse. Yes.
Yeah.
He already gave his instructions how to get out of this
Oh,
terrible
okay.
situation, see,
Right. Okay.
to follow.
Yes.
And also
Thank you.
Mahaprabhu came again 500 years ago.
Who did? The Buddha.
No, Mahaprabhu.
Mahaprabhu. Right. Okay.
Chaitanya
Yeah.
Mahaprabhu appeared about 500 years ago in India. And he
Yes.
was also an avatar, an incarnation of Krishna. And he came to teach us again. One
Oh,
of those
okay.
principles that Krishna taught.
So he'd be expected to come down during the age of Kali Yuga several times, maybe then. Would he?
He may. There's no restrictions.
Okay. Right.
If somehow the teachings are lost and there are still sincere souls in this world, then he will appear again to help
Right. Okay.
either that or he sends his representative, like Srila Prabhupada or Srila Maharaj, someone to help guide the bewildered souls. What is their proper business? What is the way to get free from all this misery? Come to their eternal serving position. Serving him,
Yes.
not serving the material energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's the confusion. The living entity gets confused. He's supposed to be serving, but he's serving the material energy instead of serving Krishna. He serves the material body. Otherwise, we are meant to serve. Soul has is Jivera Krishnadas, Krishna Nityadas, sorry, an eternal servant of Krishna, Das. Well, when we forget that our service is to Krishna like that, then we start serving all other kinds of things, and that's what leads to difficulties, entanglement, and problems, because it's not our natural position, and not what we should be doing. Anyhow, today is also the remembrance of Srila Prabhupada's disappearance. In 1977, Srila Prabhupada left this world in November 1977. And
Did you meet him?
I met him, yes,
Mm.
many times. I received initiation from him only,
Oh,
and we had some discussions sometimes. Quite an amazing experience, actually, to meet Srila Prabhupada in person. I always felt in his presence, he was like transcendental, to this world. He was there and he was somewhere else at the same time. A deep personality. Anyhow, today in Vrindavan, and this 1977, he left his body, and he left his instructions for us how to continue on. And now today they're building this Temple of the Vedic Planetarium, TOVP, Temple of the Vedic Planetarium in Mayapur. Maybe you've seen pictures of that construction. Gigantic. That'll be the largest temple in the world. And that will house the depiction of the fifth canto of Bhagavatam, of the universe, and also show the various stages of spiritual development, devotional development, as mentioned by Sanatana Goswami in his Brihad Bhagavatamrita. The different levels of the journey of the soul. And it's not only in this world, but in the spiritual world also, there is development. All these things will be done in honor of Srila Prabhupada. Because of his inspiration, so many things are going on now in Krishna consciousness. And we came to Sridhar Maharaj only because of Srila Prabhupada's instruction, telling us that I consider him my Shiksha Guru, what to speak of the benefit you can have from listening to him. And therefore we have great honor for Srila Sridhar Maharaj also, as a teacher of Srila Prabhupada. If we honor Srila Prabhupada, then we must honor Srila Sridhar Maharaj too. So today, in honor of Srila Prabhupada, and also today is Kartik. This month, we're in the month of Kartik, and we will sing the Damodar Rastakam prayer every, this whole month. When we have our class instead of the Vandanam, we will chant the Damodar Rastakam prayers, okay? Like we did last week. So I'll chant the first verse, and you can chant after me together. Jaya Vishnupad, Paramahamsa, Parivrajacharya, Asatana Sata, Sripad, Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jaya. Namam Ishwaram sat-cit-ananda rupam Lasat kundalam gokule brajamanam Yashorabiyo rukalat davamanam Param Rishtamatyantato Trutya Gopya
Namam
Namam Vishwaram Sat-cit-ananda Rupam Rasat Kundalam Gokule Vrajamanam Yasodapiyo Kaladavamanam Paramisham Madhyaktato Jagopya
Rudantam muhurnetra yagmam rajantam Arambojo yogvena satankanetram Musvasakampa tire kankakanta Sita graivam damodaram bhakti badam
Buddham Tammo
Iti driksvali labir ananda kunde Sagosham nimajantam akyapayantam Tadi esitageshu bhaktarjitatvam Puna prematastam satavritti vande
Iti
Ananda Kunde Dvagosami Majapamayanta Tadi Sita Jesu Bhakti-datam Una Prema Satsarviti Vande
Varam deva muksham na moksha vadibha na chanyam vrineham parishadapiha idam deva purnata gopala balam sadave manas yavirastam kimanjay Varam
Moksam Idam Chitpata Gopala Balam
Sada
idam te bukambojam atyanta nilayar Ritam kuntalai snigdha raktaischa gopya Muhushtambitam bimba raktadaram me Manashavirastam alam lakshalabhai
Idam te
Mukam Janta Lila Tam Kuntale Kumpitam Bimba Manasya Alam Laksalabha
Namo Deva Damodara Nanda Vishnu Prasida Prabho Dukkha Chalapti Bhagdam Kripadristi Visyati Dinambatanu Grihane Shamam Maghyam Edyakshi Drishya
Namo
Namo Deva Damodarananda
Vishnu
Vishnu
Prasida
Prasida
Prabodhu Ayala Vimagnam
Kripa
Kipadisti Visyati
Kripadroshirasyatinam
Vinamvatano
Vatano
Ikhane
Ahane
Shamanai
Samamanyam
Maniryak
Kuberat Bajo Bhatta Putyai Vyad Bhat Vaya Mochito Bhakti Bajo Krito Cha Tata Prema Bhaktim Swakame Prayacha Namokshe Grahome Siddhamodareha
Kuberat Madhu
Atmavajo Vajo
Jai Bajal
Yadvat
Raya
Vaya Moshita
Yamuchito
Bhakti
Bhakti
Vaya
Vajavaki
Gita
Praja
Tata
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 Prema
Prema Bhaktim Sakame Prayascha
Namo
Namo
Shri Graho
Shri
Namo
Grahome
Graho
Sridhara
Vestida
Madhava
Modareha
Namaste Sudamne Spura Dipti Damne Tvadiyo Dorayata Vishwasya Damne Namo Radhikaya Tvadiya Priyaya Namo Nandalilaya Devaya Tubhyam
Namaste
Namaste Studamne Spura Dipti Damne Bhakti Yoga Yata Vishvaya Dame
Namo
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 Radhikaya
Radhikaye
Viya Priyaya
Vijaya
Namo
Namo
Natalilaya
Nalalilaya
Devaya
Devaya
Tubhya
Tobhyam
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna
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 Hare
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 Hare Rama Hare
Rama
Rama
Ram
Rama
Rama Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare
Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Chayadev, Srila Santa Maharaj Ki Jai,
Jai
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 Guru Prabhupada Ki Jai,
Jai
Jai
Prabhupada Srila
Jai.
Mahotsav Ki Jai.
Jai
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 Jai.
All glories to the assembled devotees,
Jai
all glories to the worldwide devotees.
Jai
Gaur
Jai
Premanandi, Hari 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 Bol.
Hari
Hari Bol.
Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai
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 So let's read the English. I'll read the first one, then each one can take turn reading. To the Supreme Lord, who possesses an eternal form, whose form is the embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge, and bliss, whose shark-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, and who I, due to the offense of breaking the part of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter, and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from the swing, is quickly running from the wood grinding mortar in fear of Mother Yasoda, but who has been caught from behind by her, who ran after him with greater speed, to that Supreme Lord Sri Damodar, I offer my humble obeisance. And then, Linda, if you'd like to read the next.
Okay. And number 2, seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his 2 lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with 3 lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To this Supreme Lord, Sri Damodara, whose belly is bound not with ropes but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances.
Right. Ananda?
By such hot pastime as his drawing the inhabitants of Gokula in pool of ecstasy, and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence, that he only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conception of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodara hundreds and hundreds of times. Jai Maharaj.
Ananditi, would you like to read?
I thought you are able to give all kinds of benedictions. Do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which might be obtained by executing the 9 process of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of your as Bala Gopala in Vrindavana might ever be manifest in my heart. For what is the use to me of any other boon besides this?
Thank you. Bhagavati Didi.
O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair, tangled with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yasoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me.
Bhagavati Didi.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you. O Damodara, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me by showering your lenses of mercy upon believe this poor ignorant for who is immersed in an ocean of golden silver and become visible to my eyes.
Oma Didi.
Okay, Maharaj, I'll try.
Number
Uh,
7.
Number 7. Maharaj,
Yes.
O Lord Damodara, just as the 2 sons of Kuvera and Manigriva and Nalakvara were delivered from the curse of Narada and made into the great devotee by you in your form as a baby tied with rope to a wooden grinding mortar. In the same way, please give me one prema bhakti. I only long for this, and I have to this, and I have no desire for any of any kind of blessing.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Maharaji. And Krishna Kesava?
O Lord Damodar, I first offer all my obeisances to the brilliantly effulgent rope which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord, who displays unlimited pastimes.
Yes, thank you. So this song was originally chanted by Satyavrata Muni and is sung during the month of Kartik, or month of Damodar, quoted in the Hari Bhakti Vilas. And it is said that in the month of Kartik, one should worship Lord Damodar and daily recite the prayer known as Damodar Astakam, which has been spoken by the sage Satyavrata and which attracts Lord Damodar. So during the month of Kartik, I think I mentioned, is a very auspicious month for Vaishnavas. Whatever service you do during this month will have 3 times as much benefit as any other time of the year. It's such an auspicious holy month, the month of Radharani. Called the month of Radharani. Kartik is the name, Kartika is the name of Radha's mother. So if you take advantage of this month by doing some extra service, that's why the devotees during this time they chant this Damodar Astakam every day, and also they do a little offering of a little wick, a cotton wick, dipped in some ghee, and then burn that and offer that before the deities or before the picture of Damodar or Krishna, and make some type of offering. If you want to make some kind of sweet bowl or something that you can offer to Krishna during this time for his pleasure, and then it will be of great benefit to you spiritually. Lord will be very happy. We'll try to do something during this month to show your love for Krishna, your remembrance of him. Of course, you should do that every day, but especially during this month, if you can do, it will be especially beneficial. Joy, good day. I think you're all here, except for Uma Devi last month. We read the translation of these verses, so you know what they are about. And the commentary of Dev-Goswami. I don't think we'll finish that. Not necessary. A detailed explanation of the verses, some of the meanings of the words. I think it's very nice. Also, if we can meditate on Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, whose disappearance, remembrance of his disappearance is today, actually yesterday, and today. We can meditate on him, on the great teachings that he has given us all over the world. When he first came to Saraswati Thakur, sometime I think it was in the 1930s. First thing Saraswati Thakur said to him, when he could understand that Prabhupada could speak English very nicely, he said, "You are an educated young man. You should go and teach this message of Lord Chaitanya to the Western world, to the English-speaking world. It was the first time he met Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada took that to heart. Although Bhakti Siddhanta only mentioned it as a suggestion and encouragement, Prabhupada took that to heart and took it very seriously. And of course, he spread Krishna consciousness all over the world in the most miraculous way. And because of him, today, we are all here practicing some form of Krishna consciousness, putting into practice some of the teachings he gave us. And as we mentioned, his relationship with Srila Sridhara Maharaj is very intimate. Because when he was younger, also still a student in the Gaudiya Math, even under Bhakti Siddhanta's leadership, Bhakti Siddhanta soon left this world shortly after Prabhupada became initiated. And so Prabhupada was left only with the instruction of Sridhara Maharaj as his guardian. And he always respected Sridhara Maharaj, whatever he would tell, because he knew he was a very pure devotee. And he asked Sridhara Maharaj to stay at one of his apartments in Calcutta, where he had a room. And on the apartment, he had a room in his house, which he allowed Sridhara Maharaj, or invited Sridhara Maharaj to stay and do his preaching from there. Had so much respect for him. Anyhow, under guidance of Sridhara Maharaj, he said Krishna wanted him to prepare me for his mission of spreading the teachings of Lord Chaitanya all over the world. So he had very high regard for Sridhara Maharaj. And we were fortunate enough to take shelter of him after Srila Prabhupada's disappearance, and are presenting the teachings of Srila Prabhupada and Srila Sridhara Maharaj today. Mantra for Srila Prabhupada is written by Srila Bhakti Govinda Maharaj. One that we chant today, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane and Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachade Satarane. These verses we always say in honor of Srila Prabhupada and offering obeisance to him. You can remember today also in your puja a little Srila Prabhupada and offer something of service to him, some foodstuffs or some prayers. That will be very nice also. Jaya Vishnupad, Paramahamsa, Paribraja Acharya Sattva Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Okay, so we have a little time today, about 15 minutes. We'll read something from Prapanna-jivanamrtam.
Sorry, what chapter are you?
Huh?
What chapter? What?
Let's see. Page 72. Text 26. Chapter 4. Rejection of the unfavorable things in devotional service. Text number 26. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivraja Asatana Sata Sri Srimad Bhakti Yoga Srila Dev-Goswami Maharaja ki jai.
Right.
Jai Sri Prapanna-jivanamrtam ki jai.
Yeah.
This book was also published by Srila Prabhupada's sister. She was so enamored by Srila Maharaj, as a pure devotee, she wanted to publish his book, Sri Prapanna-jivanamrtam, and understood the importance of the beauty of this book. So she first published this book in Bengali. I don't remember the year, but it's a very important book. Srila Govinda Maharaj said, this is the first book and this is the last book that we should study about Sridhara Maharaj. As an enduring relevance, significance to us in our spiritual life. Concept of Sharanagati, surrender. Paradoshanushīlanam varjaniyam. Parasvabhava karmani yat prasamsati nintati. So asu prasyate svardat asatya vinivaisata. On the Bhagavatam. The practice of finding faults in others must be abandoned. These are the things we must reject if we want to practice surrender to Krishna. Finding faults in others. To pointlessly judge others as a defect, and therefore such a practice must be abandoned. O Uddhava, you should neither praise nor abuse the nature and actions of others, because you will become preoccupied with falsehood, and your best self-interest will be lost. Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Does not benefit us to find fault in others. Unless there's some purpose, some devotional purpose for criticizing others, sometimes it may be necessary for the Acharya to criticize others, to help them to discover the best way, proper way to make progress in their own spiritual life. But otherwise, the criticism of others does not benefit us or anyone in making progress in our own spiritual development, because we have defects in our own self. Should not be worrying about defects in others. Defects in others are what our own mind sees in others. We cannot tell what others are thinking, only what we think they are thinking. So it's coming from our thinking, coming from us. So whatever defects are there in us, we may project that onto others. So it's always the best policy to look at one's own defects, to clarify one's own position, and to try to come to the position of always remembering Krishna within our own minds, once we can see that Krishna is there in everything, as it says in the scriptures, Aham Sarvasya Prabhu, or Sarvasya Saham Ridishani Vishnu. I am in everyone's heart. Huh? To see that, that is our task. That is our engagement in life, our real business. Do other things, to do other things with our mind, such as finding fault, will not benefit us spiritually. Not that we have to accept everything that others do or say. That's not necessary. We may make a discrimination between what others say and what scriptures say, and therefore not take everything everyone says as correct or beneficial. But to save time for ourselves, we don't concern ourselves so much with the misunderstandings of others, but more with our own misunderstandings. And then we will be able to make rapid progress in spiritual life. Finding fault in others will not help us find fault in ourselves. The fault that is finding fault in others is also a fault in us. It's part of material existence, that kind of thinking. So to give that up and to concentrate sincerely on improving one's own self, developing one's own Krishna consciousness, focusing more and more the attention upon Krishna. That is the most beneficial use of our energy in our mind, and that will bring the highest rewards. Text number 27. Vraja rasastri satanam bhakti bhakti smiha tata aishvarya mishra vaikunta pati sevapi tyaja tvena ganya asadvartani svesha krishna mati sarvasa swaharanaya saharani Kata mukti, Vagriyana, Sudukila, Sarvatma, Gilani, Api Tyakpa, Lakshmi Pati, Pratim Iti, Vilma, Nayani, Raja Radha, Krishnotha, Rati Manido, Tamba Jana, Raghunath Param, Raghunath Goswami. For the pure devotees who have taken refuge in the mellow of pure devotion and Vrindavan, even the reverential service of Lord Narayana and Vaikuntha is considered to be as adverse as the aspiration for worldly pleasures of liberation. In the verse by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, in reference to this idea, Vishnavarta Vidasna Ana Asadvarta Balijana Sevesha Ati Ishakandri Ati Ayakankari Sri Krishna Vishaya Bhakti Jivera Dulabharati Sevisha Bhakti Laya Hari Sunamana Ali He Tamaya Mukti Dame Sar Dudidi Tara Kata Yari Tudi Sudi Sarvatma Sampatti Giri Haya Arubaya Tyagakar Mukti Kata Parihar Lakshmi Pati Rati Raka Duhe Serati Prabhalahaya Paravyone Deha Pele Nahi Deha Bhasa Vrajapure Raja Radha Krishna Nati Amuya Tanarati Tai Tumi Bhadras Chiradina Rupa Raghunatha Paya Serati Partanaya He Bhakti Vinoda Dinahina. Anything but Krishna's message lies falsehood. Such a passage, such a harlot, is so very dangerous. Devotion to the Lord Krishna, rarely gotten by the jiva, that harlot steals away this consciousness. Dear mind, please hear my prayer. And if you hear the presentation of the tiger's liberation, all of those good prospects shall devour. Both temptations, please abandon, and not to speak of liberation, curb attraction for the Lord Narayana. By attraction to that plane, to Vaikuntha, you'll be hurled down, denied the chance to live in true Vrindavan. Love for Radha Krishna and Vraja bestows the most precious treasure. Adore them in your heart eternally. Rupa Raghunatha's feet for such a devotion. For such devotion, those can treat this Srila Bhakti Vinod bereft of all humility and all humility. The idea Bhakti Vinod is trying to present here, and Raghunath Das is trying to present. Don't be attracted to the worship of Krishna and Vaikuntha, of God and Vaikuntha. Means don't be tempted to worship the God of basically the concept of God as the Almighty. Everyone has a concept of God as somebody very almighty,
Opulent.
powerful, opulent. Huh? But the Vaishnava say, don't try to worship that conception of God. That won't be the highest thing. If you try to worship Krishna, see him as an ordinary person, not this mighty person. As the son of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj running around in the courtyard with beautiful jewels on his body, trying to please the inhabitants of Vraja in so many different ways with the sweet pastimes of a human-like nature. Krishna doesn't like, and he won't allow his devotees to enter his world of Vrindavan if they come with the conception of Krishna as God, as the Almighty. He doesn't like that. He prefers you come to him in a very humble conception of him as your friend, as your child, your lover. In this way, he has a more intimate and more relishable relationship with his devotees in that form than he does in the form of Narayana. Narayana's conception is also there, and many people, they worship God in that form. Especially in India, we see the Sri, what's called the Sri Sampradaya, many great temples there, Venkateshwar, which Krishna has worshipped alone in a very opulent way. And many devotees see God in that way, a very opulent way. And they worship him with deep respect and a very sincere also. Lots of sacrifice. But we are told by the Vaishnavas that there is a higher conception based upon rasa, based upon taste, based upon sweetness, that one can have with Krishna, with the supreme absolute truth. Not as a supreme, but as an ordinary man, an ordinary child. In that form, Krishna appears to his devotee. Aprakrita. He appears like ordinary, but he's not ordinary. He is spiritual, transcendental. To have a relationship with that form of the Lord and that conception, to develop love for the Lord at that level, only more relishable and more perfect than worshiping Krishna in his form of Narayan. Beneficial to cultivation of devotional service is the rejection of this form of worship of God in Vaikuntha. And try to worship Krishna in Vrindavan for the gopis and the gopas and the cowherd men and women and the cows. It will be more advantageous for development of prema, of your love for God, than worship him in a very opulent and magnificent idea. The unique teaching of the Vaishnava. Most religions teach the worship of God. Krishna is God, but not in the form of a creator, as most religions think of God as the Almighty. We worship Krishna in his Swayam Bhagavan, his original form, as a cowherd boy, a simple cowherd boy, living in Vrindavan with his parents and his girlfriends and his boyfriends and the cow. It will be favorable for the cultivation of Krishna prema. Iti Sri Prapanna-jivanamrtam, Sri Bhakti-Yoga Tantargata Pratikuya Vivarjanam Nama Chaturtha Jayaya. The fourth chapter, rejection of the unfavorable words from the nectar of devotees. Okay. And here, we'll start the next chapter next week. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paripajaka Prabhasata Sripad Bhakti Swami Sripad Ki Jai. Jaya Sripad Paramahamsa Paripajaka Prabhasata Sripad Bhakti Dev-Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paripajaka Sripad Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paripajaka Bhakti Nirmala Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Sripad Paramahamsa Paripajaka Prabhasata Sripad Bhakti Niskam Santa Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Jai Go Premanandi, Hari Hari
Puri
Bol.
Bol.
Samaveda Bhaktivinda Ki Jai, O glory to the devotees. O glory to the worldwide devotees, Go Premanandi. Hari Bol.
Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj ki Jai.
Yeah.
Hari.
Janapana.